Well, yeah.
But you have basically some kind of system where people are paying into a pool.
Yeah.
And then you have people taking out money.
Yeah.
As a basic income. But how would you make this identity that I'm not registering 5 times possible?
Well, because it's done through the blockchain, you can't do that. You can't.
That's the question. How can I prove that I'm only was? Because I need to be a miner or?
No, they're using it in bit nations in the same way that the government would use it for its citizens. So a citizen in this case is a node, and the swarm completes the nation.
But what prevents me from setting up 5 nodes for getting the basic income 5 times?
Because you haven't been paying taxes. If you're paying taxes, there's no problem. If you're voluntarily paying taxes on all 5 nodes, it will happen. But if you're not, you don't get an income if you're not contributing to the environment yourself. So if you have 5 nodes, 4 of them might not get any income because you're not paying any taxes to the corporations and making transactions. You're not living within the network. So if you're just there to collect, it won't work. And the thing is, if you make a transaction with a corporation that doesn't pay tax, for that amount, until that amount has cleared, you won't get any income. So it's very balanced like that.
Because universal basic income suggests that you get it no matter if you contributed to something or not.
I think that's the wrong.
Well,
the term is maybe misleading.
Yeah.
That's the term that they use themselves. So I'm not really promoting it. I'm just kind of relaying.
No, I'm just wondering how the system should work. Because when it's
if you're interested in this topic of sort of building an identity, there's a Dutch guy who has this identity.fi, and you can find some information about how he visualizes it, creating an identity within this sort of Bitcoin world and these sort of decentralized networks. This is what I would recommend, identity.fi.
Was it this system where you can join the network and you need to know people who recommend you?
Yeah, correct, yes. Yeah. I mean, it's maybe not related to your question, but...
Yes. No, I'm just wondering, there's like universal basic income, but you should pay taxes first.
Well, it's universal basic income in the way that, like, right now I might go to the shop and I do a lot of interactions and I pay a lot of taxes, but I don't get that back. I can't go home and I get that back. The government decides what happens to that taxes. This isn't a decentralized way of handling fees and tax within an economy. So by doing it this way, people get, well, they do, you know, in the sense get a universal basic income because everyone's getting an income as long as they are in that society to understand the principles of it, which is you voluntarily pay tax if you want an income. And as long as you understand that, everyone will get their share. It is the person that comes in trying to break it or trying to not follow those principles that doesn't get an income, which in such a case, they wouldn't even be in the environment to begin with. So I understand what you're saying. You should really provide an income to everyone, but I'm not the developer nor the promoter of it. So I will find out and guess, you know, relay that to them. Yeah, sorry.
Do you get more than you put in?
No. It's been designed so, for example, if I make a transaction and I buy something for $1,000 and I don't pay tax on that $1,000, I don't get any basic income until I've spent another $1,000 or something like that. So it puts it into blocks. So it takes into account what you have paid and what you've paid tax on, and based on that, it will give you something back. But if you don't,
Not charge you in the first place. Or do you get less than you put in?
no.
So if you get the same that you put in, why charge you?
Well, it's to sustain the entire economy of that network. So it's the same as why would you pay, for example, a transaction fee on your Bitcoin cent or something like that, where you cannot do it. But a lot of people do, and it sustains the network.
If I don't do it, the network's going to die.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I'm paying it to keep the network alive.
yeah, which in turn is paying you. So it's like a mutually beneficial.
No, it's not, because if I put in 10 and I get 10 out,
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure if you get out exactly what you put in. In that case, I thought the same thing, and it wouldn't make sense because then you might as well not pay, like you said. But I'm sure he has a system. This is a very, very new idea. You got to understand, this is a very, very new idea. This was never made possible.
would it not be, with the idea of this, not be more along the lines of, let's say something like the Social Security Service in the UK, where they say you get £70 a week because you haven't got a job and this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
Wouldn't this be more a way of sort of saying, listen, we're not going to give the government the money to then give to somebody who might not deserve it. We're saying that this this guy goes and buys bread and milk every day, and this is all he buys. He doesn't have money. He doesn't buy sports cars and what else. And somehow, with an analysis, find out this is somebody who needs money.
Yeah.
And then the taxes that people are spending on sports cars and what else, sort of those taxes directly go to the basic spenders. That'd be more.
That would make sense. The way you put it makes sense. I guess, see, with their application, it also works that if I come to you and you have a network of users, I get access to your network of users the moment I make a transaction with you. So it also promotes networking effect in a transaction way. So I get the benefits of your entire network the moment I've dealt with you. And that allows everyone else to know kind of in your network that I've dealt with you, and the network gets bigger and bigger as you make more interactions with people in your network. So it's, in his idea, he's tried to recreate life in the network sense. So if I interact with you, I'll have an effect on you and you'll have an effect on someone else, and it will replicate through the entire network. So it's in the same way, but in the way that if I make a transaction with you, I get access to your network because you've made a transaction with them, and you therefore get access to my network because I've made a transaction with you, and so on. And you start forming, I guess, little societies within the network where people are sustaining their societies through their contributions and fees, which in turn looks after them. If that makes sense. Yeah. So, oh, sorry, you were like first. Sorry.
Just, I think there is a connection between the Bitcoin price and the other spheres of existence of the blockchain, of the Bitcoin blockchain.
Yeah.
And I think because it's not connected, the miners don't get fees on the other assets or Bitcoin 2.0 or sidechains that are existing on the Bitcoin blockchain. They get the transaction fee only in the Bitcoin. So this missing link that miners don't get value other than Bitcoin as a currency is a broken link that should be taken care of.
Do you mean the value of Bitcoin based on its currency value? Yeah, I understand that. I guess my perspective is that when people think of Bitcoin, they think currency, but it really isn't currency. It's like, think of it as the internet as like a fax machine or something. It's not. It's much more than that. That's. But I do
just
agree.
say that there is a small problem in really keeping this blockchain alive is transferring value from other coin systems or things that live on it.
Yeah.
To the miners, that they will still have the will to sustain their.
Oh, for sure, of course. And that's what the reward incentive does, is like reward the users for maintaining the network. But obviously if the price is very low, I can see how it would be a bit of an issue if people shut down their nodes, which they have been doing. But I understand. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you for your presentation.
That's all right.
I'd like to know what you think that the social costs will be of blockchain. Because in your presentation it's more on the benefits.
Yeah.
Benefits. What would you say the cost would be, the social cost?
The social cost to be a lot of jobs would be destroyed. A lot of fields of research or bachelor degrees would become obsolete because they would all be replaced by the blockchain technology. The other downsides would be it could cause a disruptance in how we deal with currency in general. But I don't see that being very I don't think that's something that could happen very easily. The social aspects, I think it will improve things if anything. I can't see too many negative aspects. The only negative parts of this is if it gets manipulated and hacked, which it can't really happen because you need the computer the size of the sun to do such a thing. And if you do break it, then you're looking at breaking SSL encryptions and a lot of other issues like online banking, and pretty much the entire internet will go collapsing. So the social costs, as far as I know, I'm a bit limited in that sense. So I can't see too many negative things coming from it. if anything, it would be more positive. You know, I don't have to wait for the bank to transfer money to you. I can just do it myself. You know, there was a case where a German bank, Sparksys or something like that, was blocking Bitcoin payments. And I think that's horrible. You know, I don't give my money to the bank so they can decide what I should do with it. I give it to them so they can hold it, and then when I see fit, I will want it back. It's my money. So you know, the fact that banks think for some reason they can intervene between you and your transactions and have a say, I think it's crazy, and it doesn't need to exist. You know, governments are selected by the people to represent the people. They're not selected by themselves, ruled by themselves, and we just do whatever they say. Like it's your lawful duty as a citizen to overcome a government that is trying to do anything but represent the people. And that's actually in the Constitution as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. So you oftentimes hear people say, and you didn't say this, but just for context, I believe in Bitcoin protocol, but not in Bitcoin the currency.
Yeah.
I think there's even a slogan, it's a protocol stupid or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is from. Now I'm wondering what you didn't say that, but you have been saying, well, look, it's much more than currency. Well, what about, you know, how successful can the Bitcoin protocol be without, if the Bitcoin as a currency doesn't function very well? So is it possible to have very successful applications of the Bitcoin protocol without a successful currency? And what I'm particularly interested in, very interested in Bitcoin being a good, stable store of value. So can we exploit all these other applications if at the heart of it, Bitcoin currency is not a stable store of value and doesn't function very well as a store of value?
Well, it depends what value is to the person, I guess. You know.
No, I mean stability in buying goods outside
Ah,
of the
okay.
Non-inflationary deviation.
Well, you can look at it as like storage coin. You know, you can't really go buy anything with storage coin, but I would say yes, it would still prevail. It would still thrive, if anything, and because it's thriving, it will get its money value. So I can't see it become successful and not gain a lot of monetary value. But at the same time, you know, you got storage coin. For example, I can rent out my hard drive space, and I get paid in their coins, and then I can use their coins to rent out my own personal cloud storage space. So it's almost like I rent out my hard drive and Dropbox becomes free, and that's a very good value. You know, it doesn't let me go outside and buy, you know, apples or oranges with it, but it allows me to have cloud storage like Dropbox for free, and that's pretty cool substitute. And then you got like mining for a cure. You know, using your mining power to solve mathematical issues and problems of protein folding, etc. You know, that doesn't have any monetary value, but it really helps society as a whole. And you can apply the same mining power to finance analysis. You can apply it to a lot of different things, you know. So yeah, I think beyond the money value, it still has, if anything, 100% it would, I would say.
I mean, a lot of people say this, and I don't really have a strong opinion, I think, yet. I'm just wondering whether or not we really should explore the argument whether or not how important the actual currency is to the success of anything else, because it is the basic application on the network. It is the fundamental thing. So, but
the thing is, like, for me personally, the money aspect is also very important as well. But unfortunately, most people don't realize Bitcoin is much more than that. So that was the point of my presentation. Sure. But past that point, me personally, the money part I think is very important, in the sense that, you know, the average shop owner wouldn't want to know about it unless it benefits them somehow. So that it needs to benefit people somehow for them to become interested in it. They don't really care what the technology is going to do behind the scenes. So they want to know, can I save? But yes, with Bitcoin you can. If you purchase with a lot of different stores using Bitcoin, you get discounts. And these things are the reason people are adopting it, and which in turn brings in more money, which can develop the other stuff, which isn't money-based. So the finance aspect is very important. And I have no doubt that it will grow. And I have no doubt that right now it's being manipulated like nothing I have ever seen before. You know, I've been in the market and I've been speaking from the core to developers and in Bitcoin talk from the start. And every time I hear the media, I feel like, you know, it is so far from what I just heard half an hour ago from the developer that I'm losing my mind. It's like, who is really controlling the news? And I get it, like I really get it. If I was a bank owner, if I was in the government, I would slow it down too, you know? Why would I want something that's going to remove all these fees that I'm getting for free and remove all these paperwork and everything that's slowing everyone down, you know? Why would I want everyone to be on the tip of their toe? I'm not going to make money that way. Which is really bad to say, but that's the reality of it. And so in that sense, it's you know, that's why I find it's my job and everyone else's that knows the truth to keep telling people the truth. So if you meet someone that's like, Bitcoin is failing, it's like, no, it's not failing. If you talk about the dollar value of it, yeah. But as a whole, it's thriving. Yeah, so, yeah.
You said you talked to Patrick Byrne?
Yeah.
On stuff. He's working on the stock exchange, decentralized?
Medicine, yeah.
When is it coming?
Well,
Did he talk to
yeah, they said, it was really, actually really interesting speaking to him because, you know, it was so inspiring to speak to someone like that. And, you know, his idea is that he's seen what corruption in the Wall Street has done to people, and he has like put out extensive documents, you know, going into it and trying to find out the people responsible for stock manipulation. And in a lot of cases, you know, it's a bit scary because it turns out the people that own, you know, 9MSN, Money Magazine, New York Times, CNBC, and all these things, they're all part of the same organization. And then when you introduce suddenly stock analysis to them as well, so the person that analyzes stock and, you know, reports it to the public, and if you get that guy to call up these people before they announce it to the public, so they can make a lot of moves, you start to see like how disgusting it really is. You know, it's like they control the news. They can make a company look really bad, so they buy up all their stocks and then drop it the next day. And you know, they've destroyed like thousands of companies throughout their times, and they don't really care because at the end of the day, they're just extracting money out of the system. You know, there's trillions of dollars being like destroyed while there's people starving on the street. It doesn't make sense. Like, there's nothing wrong with our world. There's no shortage of money. It's not like those people need to go out. It's just being clogged up in a point. So his idea is that by this year he will bring it out. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure, you know, what it would be like. They were considering counterparty, though I recently spoke to them and they said because they are able to use multiple chains, they are considering more than just counterparty. So, you know, it was just basis on counterparty itself, but they are considering other side chains too. And, you know, the most interesting thing he said was, right now, probably 1%, I mean, if that, you know, he said 1/10%, which is like 0.1% of people online use Bitcoin. Because once that number gets to 1 to 3% or even 5%, then you will have something to work with. Because until that time, it's up to us to just keep pushing it forward and telling people what's going on. And the network effect, it will itself automatically kick in, and there's nothing people can do to stop such a thing. So, you know, coming from someone of his, you know, of his stature, I guess that's something really reasonable to pay attention to. And yeah, the platform itself is remarkable in being able to do such a thing. And I asked him, I said, you know, are there genuine companies interested in giving out shares in a crypto way? And he said, yeah, you know, I have people from Wall Street, you know, Fortune 500 companies, not even small companies, who are very interested. Because right now, if I issue it through the traditional way, someone can manipulate it and destroy my company. And cost millions, yeah, no, exactly. That's another part. So the average person doesn't even have a chance to go public. Whereas with this way, anyone can, you know. That's the power of P2P, you know. I don't have to go to A and hope that A can connect me to such and such, you know. I can connect to you, you can connect to whoever else. I can find your project, he can find your project. Doesn't have to be done in a bank, in a boardroom. Hi, this is my business plan, and I hope to generate this much. Can I please have a loan?
I'm friends with you.
Yeah, you know, can I please have a loan? I'll promise to pay it back. Oh, I don't know, we'll own 50% of your business or something like that. So crypto stocks and being able to distribute coupons, tokens, has really transcended the way people can start business, I think. You know, if I have a really good idea, I can put it online, accept Bitcoins, and within a week I could have 1,000 Bitcoins operating my business. Try doing the same thing in the normal system. I don't even know what would happen. Yeah, so.
Just we have some kind of operation on this Bitcoin 2.0 thing. Legal-wise, it's not that easy, like you said. Like if you are putting your stocks on the blockchain, you still have to legal-wise make it legal in your country. It's not like removing the, I don't know in announcement and 40 pages of things to legally sell equity in your project. It's legally you should change things that it won't be equity if you want to sell it.
See, but that goes back to what I was saying. Then you're following the Bitcoin principles through the same things that infested our current economy.
But what he's doing is not, he won't remove the legal barrier out of stock exchange. I can tell you that if he is going to sell equity on this...
Oh, no, he said he's going to follow all the legal standards and everything like that. But I'm talking about, like, for example, GEMS, the platform that got funded. You know, they didn't need to go through all this paperwork and all this. All they had to do on their website is say, if we don't meet this criteria, everyone will get their money back. And if we do, we're going to release the platform by this month. Everyone's happy, they go about their day, you know. So that $40,000 to get something up, I'm not sure where that is from.
No, just also GEMS, they have our friends from Israel. They also have like a legal structure.
Yeah, whenever you take money from people, obviously you would have to...
It's not nothing to deal with, but it's...
Depends what country you're in, really, man.
Yeah.
It depends what country you're in. I'm sure in a lot of countries you can do it without having any legal obligations to anyone. At the end of the day, you're accepting tokens. Why should the government charge you on tokens? It's digital currency. What are they taxing you? If I don't convert it to cash, they can never tax me for it.
But usually people need fiat money to buy in the grocery store, and then they are dealing with
But in the crypto world, like I can see it not being converted to fiat. For example, a lot of companies get that Bitcoin and then they pay their bounties in Bitcoin, they pay their users in Bitcoin, and by the end of it, they don't really have to owe any legal obligation to anyone, really.
Yeah, in the future, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Here's the gap.
Yeah, I appreciate that. No, it makes sense.
Please go to the last question.
I'm done.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, was more a remark.
Yeah.
Okay?
I
Yeah,
would like to
okay.
suggest to go to Pete.
Okay, yes, that's by all means. I'll do my best.
So yeah, do it. How long you think it takes when blockchain is going to be regulated by big governments and big companies? Internet used to be free also, you know, it's a very long time ago.
Yeah, I
You
know.
live in Amsterdam?
Yeah, I do.
It's all gone. So,
It's all gone, but I still use torrents. I shouldn't say this. Never mind. But pretty